4, verse 8. I will both lie down in peace and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Now, when the kids were little, I'm sure that you said it or know people who said it. We'd put the kids to bed and we'd say, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Well, David is saying, I can lay down, I can find peace, I can sleep, and I can have security in you, Lord. He talks about three things: peace, sleep, safety. The world is always looking for peace. Now, I don't guess it's as much today, but, when I was growing up, we always watched the beauty contest. Miss America was a big deal around our house. My sister had went to Miss Texas. She did not win. She won Miss Congeniality. But the beauty contest was always a big thing at the house. And when they would ask the participants what they wanted in life, majority of them would say, world peace. Good answer. I think we all still want that, right? I remember, if you lived through the 60s and 70s, what was the one sign that most people knew? Peace. We used to have a guy, I don't know what his name was, he was probably in his 30s, maybe even 40s, and he would walk down the street and he had real long, stringy, dirty hair and old clothes. We lived in a very small community, and I don't know what his name was, everybody called him Hippie. And he'd see you drive by, he'd give you the peace sign. Everybody wants peace, but peace is far from what most people get. Turmoil, confusion, worry, strife, injustice, those are abundant all around us. But peace and safety and sleep are hard to find. A wise man once told someone, if you want to achieve inner peace, is to finish all the things you started. So the man took that literally. He went home. He ate an entire bag of chips and a half a carton of ice cream. No, Kevin, that was not me. We live in a world full of turmoil and strife. You can see the stress in people's faces. You can hear the fear and worry in people's voices. People are worried about their health, their finances, their families, what the future is going to hold, not only for them, but for their children and grandchildren. Many lay down at night and they can't sleep. I think I've told you this before. Tina's got a little plaque in our bedroom, and it says, I don't want to sleep like a baby, I want to sleep like my husband. Well, she needs to get rid of that because I don't sleep good anymore. Our bodies are tired, and our minds are restless. David wrote these words during a difficult season of his life. He didn't write this during a time when things were pleasant. He wrote this when his world was in turmoil. He was being sought after. They were trying to kill him. He faced enemies, he faced betrayal, uncertainty. This was not a laying on the beach, relaxing, laying back, thinking, you know what, I'm going to take me a nap right now. No. He said this when all of that was going on. All that turmoil, all that confusion, all that betrayal was happening all around him. Yet in the middle of it, he made this powerful statement, I will lay down and sleep in peace. He didn't say I might sleep. He didn't say I hope I can get some sleep. He said I will. This is confidence. This is faith speaking. The reason David could say that is because his peace was based on not what was happening around him. His peace was based upon his God, who he put his trust in. That is the difference, not only for him, but for us. You can lay down at night. You may have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of worries and problems and situations and conflicts in the family, but you can lay your head at night on that pillow and go, you know what? I trust God. God has not failed me. God has not let me down. If our peace is dependent upon circumstances, man, that'd be a terrible way to live, because one minute things are going good, but I heard a guy say the other day, he said, even when things are going good, he said, I'm still thinking about what might happen. Things are going too good. So I know the ball's fixing to drop. We got to have peace, and the only way that we can have peace is through Jesus, through God. True peace is not found in wealth or success or even relationships, because those things can change. Real peace is found in trusting God. When we place our hands and our life in His hands, something begins to settle in our hearts. Even if nothing around us changes, you may still have the same problems in the morning. But when you place your trust in God, there'll be a peace that comes upon you that you can't explain. Yeah. David, he connects peace with sleep. Sleep is one of our clearest signs of trust. It's hard to rest when we're worried and fearful. It's hard to go to sleep. Remember the story of Jesus? They're all in a boat, and the storm comes, and Jesus is over there taking a nap during the storm. And they come over and they wake him up, and they said, are you going to just let us perish? He gets up and he speaks to the storm, and it calms. He's teaching us a lesson on who we can depend on in the storms of life. Peter is preaching and they lock him up. They've already killed one person for their faith. Peter was on the next. He's fixing to be next, man. But is he up walking around in his cell? No. Matter of fact, the angel has to wake him up to get him out of there. He's asleep. He's resting in Jesus. That kind of rest does not come only from God. That's the only way you can get it. It's the only way you can possess it. It's trusting God. Today, many people are exhausted not because of physical labor, but because of mental and emotional burdens. You can just talk to people and you can just see how they're worn out. They're just tired. They're just drained. All the things that are happening, not only in the world, but in their own lives. They're carrying around fear about the future and guilt about the past and stress and constant worry. Yes, they may lay down, their bodies may be still, but their minds are going 90 to nothing. But God invites us to lay those burdened down. David says, "You alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." That word alone is powerful. He's saying there's nothing else in the world that can give me safety and peace like you can. Not money, not success, not relationships. You're the only thing that I can find safety and peace and sleep and rest. He knows that security comes from God and God alone. Money, you can have it one day and not have it another. Job title, you can have it one day and not have it the next day. I seen a guy who was a manager of a store, and the next day he was bagging groceries. Money and jobs and securities, they come and go. But not when we trust in God. Not when we rely upon God. That doesn't ever fade away. David says, "I will lay down." That shows a decision. Peace is not something that just happens. It's something that we choose. David is proclaiming, I'm going to lay down and I'm going to rest. I'm going to sleep because I choose to believe in God. I'm not listening to the world. I'm not listening to all the clatter of what can happen in my head. I'm going to trust God. David Vance Havner was preaching, and he said, he was talking about peace, talking about rest. He said there was this priesthood. There was many things that were happening within the church, and he was in turmoil, and the church was in turmoil, and he hadn't slept for a couple of days. He hadn't eaten for a couple of days. And about 3 o'clock on the third day in the morning, he looked up at God and he said, "God, if you're staying up, I'm going to bed." He'd come to the conclusion that all of this was only God could handle it. And you know what? God did. That's what trust looks like. It means we stop trying to carry what only God can handle. Faith does not mean that we have no problems. It means we believe God is greater than our problems. Peace is the very thing God used to guide us. Philippians 4:7 says, "The peace of God which surpasses all understanding." Now this, I'm going to throw this in free. This is not going to cost anything for you. But if you want to know if you're in God's will, look for the peace. When you step out of God's will, guess what? Peace leaves you. But if you step back in God's will and begin to do what you know is God's will for your life, then there's going to be a peace that comes with that. Maybe today you're facing some heavy problems in your life, things that have kept you up at night. Your mind's been racing, and rest seems far, far away. God is inviting you to trust Him. When you truly place your life in His hands and have confidence, just like David, I will lay down and sleep in peace. Amen. Not because everything's perfect, but because God is faithful. Amen. Maybe today you've been carrying those things you were never meant to carry. Worries, fears, and stress. And they've been stealing your peace. God is inviting you right now to lay all that down. He's inviting you this morning to say, God, help me. Help me find the peace that only you can give. If you need that kind of peace, God's offering it to you. But you got to ask. You got to want it. You got to seek it to possess it. That's all stands. We have a song, page 62.